Everyday English Podcast
by English Talking Today.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to English Talking Today. My name is Mary, and I am so happy to have you again for another episode designed to empower and inspire you on your English learning journey. If you're new here, a massive welcome, and if you're a returning listener, it's wonderful to connect with you again. Today, we're diving deep, and I mean really deep. We're going to talk about something that I believe is far more powerful than any grammar rule, any vocabulary list, any pronunciation drill, or even the most advanced listening exercise. We're going to talk about the psychology of learning English. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Mary, I just need to learn the past perfect tense. Or, Mary, I just need more words. And yes, absolutely. Grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, these are all vital components of English. They are the bricks and mortar of the language. But what about the foundation? What about the blueprint? What about the architect? That, my friends, is your mind. That is your psychology. Imagine trying to build a magnificent skyscraper, but your foundation is made of sand, or your blueprints are full of doubts and negativity. No matter how many good bricks you have, that building isn't going to stand tall and strong. Learning English is exactly the same. You can have all the best resources, all the best teachers, all the best intentions, but if your internal landscape, your psychological approach, isn't right, you'll find yourself struggling, feeling frustrated, and maybe even giving up. For years, the focus in language learning has been primarily on the external, what to study, how to study. And while that's important, I've come to realize through my own journey and through observing countless successful and struggling learners that the internal game is where the true magic happens. It's the difference between merely acquiring knowledge and truly mastering a language, making it a part of you. So today, I want to share with you what I consider to be the 7 key psychological factors that are absolutely crucial for success in learning English. These aren't quick fixes. They're profound shifts in mindset that will transform your entire learning experience. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's unlock your true potential together. All right. Let's jump right into the first and arguably most fundamental psychological factor, belief. This is the soil for your English learning. Think about it. What happens if you try to plant a beautiful seed in infertile, rocky ground? It struggles, doesn't it? It might sprout a little, but it won't truly flourish. The same goes for your English. If, deep down, you hold negative thoughts like, I'm too old to learn English, or English is impossible for me, I'm just not good at languages, or I've tried before and failed, so what's the point? Then you are planting your English seed in incredibly difficult soil. These beliefs act like invisible barriers, slowing your progress, eroding your motivation, and making every challenge feel insurmountable. I hear it all the time. People tell me, Mary, I'm 40 years old. It's too late for me. Or, I don't have a good memory. Or, I'm just not naturally talented. And I gently remind them, these are just stories you're telling yourself. They're not facts. The human brain is an incredible, adaptable organ, capable of learning new things throughout our entire lives. Look at babies. They learn an entire language without a single grammar book or vocabulary list. Why? Because they believe they can. They have no preconceived notions of difficulty or failure. They just do. So, how do you cultivate this belief? First, you need to identify those negative self-talk patterns. Become aware of them. When you catch yourself thinking, this is too hard, gently challenge it. Ask yourself, is that really true, or is it just a limiting belief? Second, consciously replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Instead of, I'm too old, try, my brain is powerful and capable of learning at any age. Instead of English is impossible, try English is a challenge I am excited to conquer. It might feel a little silly at first, but repetition is key. You are literally reprogramming your mind. Third, look for evidence. Find stories of people who started learning English later in life and succeeded. Celebrate your small wins. Every new word you learn, every sentence you understand, every conversation you have, these are all pieces of evidence that your belief is valid, that you can do it. A strong belief system creates resilience. When you hit those inevitable plateaus, when progress feels slow, your belief will be the anchor that keeps you grounded, the inner voice that says, keep going. You've got this. It's not about being naive. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to succeed. Okay, moving on from belief. Our second psychological key is closely related and equally powerful motivation. If belief is the soil, then motivation is the water and sunlight that nourishes your English tree. It is the fuel that keeps you going, especially when the road gets bumpy. So many learners start with a burst of enthusiasm, but then it fizzles out. Why? Often, it's because their motivation wasn't deeply rooted. They might say, I want to learn English, but they haven't clearly defined why. Knowing your personal reason for learning English is absolutely critical, and it needs to be personal. It can't just be because everyone else is doing it or my parents want me to. It has to come from within you. Is it to get a better job, open up new career opportunities, and provide a better life for your family? Is it to travel the world, explore new cultures, and connect with people from different backgrounds? Is it to understand your favorite movies and songs without subtitles? Is it to read books in their original English or pursue higher education abroad? Is it to connect with a loved one who speaks English? Whatever your reason, make it crystal clear. Write it down. Put it somewhere you can see it every single day. Create a vision board. Put a picture of that dream job, that travel destination, that university on your wall. When you have a clear, compelling why, it provides an inexhaustible source of energy. Think about it. When you're tired after a long day at work, when you feel like skipping your English practice, that deep-seated motivation will kick in. It will remind you of your bigger goal, your ultimate dream, and it will give you that extra push you need to keep going. This isn't just about setting a goal. It's about connecting with the feeling of achieving that goal. How will you feel when you land that dream job? How will you feel when you're confidently chatting with locals in a foreign country? How will you feel when you truly understand every lyric of your favorite English song? Tap into those emotions. Let them ignite your motivation. Your why is your guiding star. It will light your way through the darkness of challenging grammar points and confusing idioms. Keep your why alive, keep it vibrant, and it will ensure your English learning journey is never truly without energy. All right, let's move on to our third key, patience. Oh, how we struggle with this one in our fast-paced, instant gratification world. But in language learning, patience is not just a virtue, it's an absolute necessity. Learning a language is a slow process. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it's not like baking a cake where you can just follow a recipe and have a perfect result in an hour. It's more like growing a tree. When you plant a tree, do you expect to see towering branches and ripe fruit the very next day? Of course not. You water it, you nurture it, you protect it, and you wait. You know that growth takes time. Some days you might not even notice any change, but underground, in the roots, and in the tiny shoots, growth is happening. Slowly, steadily, deeply. Many learners get frustrated because they don't see quick results. They study for a month and they're not fluent, so they think, this isn't working. This is a huge mistake. Language learning is not linear. There will be periods of rapid progress, and there will be plateaus where it feels like nothing is happening. This is where patience comes in. You have to trust the process. You have to understand that every single word you learn, Every podcast you listen to, every conversation you attempt, it's all contributing to the growth of your English tree. Even when you can't see the visible change on the surface, your brain is busy making connections, building neural pathways, and deepening its understanding. I want to emphasize this. Slow, steady, and deep learning is the learning that stays with you for life. The quick fixes, the cramming sessions, they might give you short-term gains, but they don't build that strong, enduring foundation. Embrace the slowness. Celebrate the small, incremental improvements. Don't compare your progress to others. Everyone's tree grows at a different pace. Focus on your own journey. Water your own tree consistently, and trust that with patience, it will grow into something magnificent and enduring. Our fourth key, and one that often causes a lot of anxiety, is mistakes. Oh, the dreaded M word. For many, mistakes are enemies. They're things to be avoided at all costs. They cause embarrassment, shame, and a desire to retreat and never speak English again. But I want you to completely flip that script. Mistakes are not enemies. They are your teachers. They're invaluable pieces of feedback that show you exactly where you need to focus your attention. Without mistakes, how would you know what to improve? Think about a child learning to walk. The child stands up, takes a wobbly step, and falls down. Does the child burst into tears, feel utterly ashamed, and decide, walking is not for me? I'm just terrible at it. No. The child laughs, maybe cries for a second, then gets back up and tries again, falls again, tries again, and eventually walks. Imagine if that child gave up after the first fall. They would never learn to walk. Yet, as adults learning a new language, we often apply a different, much harsher standard to ourselves. We make a grammatical error, we mispronounce a word, and suddenly we feel like failures. We judge ourselves far more harshly than we would ever judge a child learning a fundamental skill. This has to stop. You have to cultivate a mindset where you welcome mistakes. See them as opportunities. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Instead, say to yourself, "Thank you, mistake. You've just shown me something I need to learn." Here's how to reframe mistakes. 1, acknowledge them without judgment. Okay, I said goed instead of went dot. 2, analyze briefly, why did I say that? Oh, right, go is irregular. 3, correct and practice. The past tense of go is went. I went to the store yesterday. For move on. Don't dwell. The more you speak, the more you write, the more you push yourself outside your comfort zone, the more mistakes you will make. And that's a good thing. It means you are actively engaging with the language, you are learning, you are growing. Embrace your mistakes. Learn from them. And remember, every fluent English speaker you admire made thousands, if not tens of thousands, of mistakes on their journey. They just didn't let those mistakes stop them. They let them teach them. Our 5th psychological key, and one that truly underpins long-term success, is habits. This is where the rubber meets the road. We all know that language learning requires consistent effort. But consistent effort can feel overwhelming, especially when you think about it as one massive mountain to climb. The secret? Don't try to climb the mountain in one giant leap. Take many, many small steps. Success in English learning comes from many small, regular efforts rather than one large, sporadic effort. Think about it this way. Would you rather try to run a full marathon once a month, feeling completely exhausted and miserable? Or would you rather go for a brisk 30-minute walk every single day? The daily walk builds consistent fitness, it becomes easier, and it fits into your life naturally. Learning English is the same. Instead of thinking, I need to study for 3 hours on Saturday, which often leads to procrastination and burnout, think, what small, sustainable English habit can I incorporate into my day every day? So, identify 1 or 2 small, manageable English habits you can start implementing today. Make them so easy you can't say no. And then be consistent. Watch how these small, steady drops of effort eventually carve out a powerful river of fluency. This isn't about grand gestures. This is about micro habits. Listening to a 10-minute English podcast while you make coffee in the morning. Reading a short English article on your phone during your bus or train commute. Learning 5 new vocabulary words while you're waiting for dinner to cook. Reviewing flashcards for 5 minutes before bed. Watching a short English YouTube video during your lunch break. Sending a quick text message in English to an English-speaking friend. These small, consistent efforts compound over time. 10 minutes a day might not seem like much, but over a year, that's 3,650 minutes, over 60 hours of focused English practice. That's a huge amount of learning that happens almost effortlessly because it's built into your daily routine. The beauty of habits is that once they're established, they require less willpower. They become automatic. You don't have to decide to do them, you just do them. And that frees up your mental energy for more complex learning tasks. Next up, our 6th psychological key, confidence. This is a big one. So many learners tell me, Mary, I just don't feel confident enough to speak. And I completely understand that feeling. It's scary to put yourself out there, to risk making mistakes, to feel like you might not be understood. But here's the crucial shift in perspective I want you to make. True confidence is not about being perfect. It's about trying even when you are not perfect. It's not about waiting until you know every grammar rule and every vocabulary word before you open your mouth. If you wait for perfection, you will wait forever. Because perfection is an illusion, especially in language learning. Even native speakers make mistakes. Think of confidence like a muscle. If you want strong arm muscles, you don't just think about lifting weights. You actually have to go to the gym and lift them. And when you first start, you're not going to be lifting heavy weights, are you? You start with lighter weights, and as you consistently use those muscles, they get stronger. Your English confidence muscle works exactly the same way. The more you use your confidence, by speaking, by trying, by putting yourself in situations where you have to use English, even imperfectly, the stronger it becomes. This means actively seeking out opportunities to speak. It could be joining an online conversation group, finding a language exchange partner, practicing with a tutor, or even just talking to yourself in English in front of a mirror. Yes, you'll feel nervous. Yes, you'll make mistakes. Remember, mistakes are teachers. But every time you push past that fear and speak, you are flexing your confidence muscle. And with each flex, it grows. Don't wait for confidence to arrive before you start speaking. Start speaking and confidence will arrive. It's a cyclical process. You try, you gain a little confidence, which makes it easier to try again, which builds more confidence, and so on. Break the cycle of waiting and step into the cycle of doing. And finally, our 7th and incredibly important psychological key, enjoyment. This one is often overlooked in the structured world of textbooks and drills, but I believe it is absolutely crucial for long-term, sustainable success. If learning English feels like a chore, like a punishment, you simply won't stick with it. Making the learning process fun is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you genuinely enjoy what you're doing, your brain is more open, more receptive, and your memory becomes stronger. Think about the things you learn easily, the things you remember well. Aren't they usually things you find interesting or enjoyable? When you're having fun, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, which actually enhances learning and memory. So, how can you infuse enjoyment into your English learning? Find topics you love. Don't just read dry articles about economics if you hate economics. If you love fashion, read fashion blogs in English. If you love cooking, watch English cooking shows. If you're passionate about gaming, find English-speaking gamers on YouTube. Use authentic materials, movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, YouTube channels, books. These are all incredible resources. Don't just stick to learner materials if they bore you. Gamify your learning. There are so many fantastic apps out there that make learning English feel like a game. Or create your own games. Challenge yourself with quizzes, word puzzles, or even just trying to describe everything you see around you in English. Connect with others. Find English speaking communities online or in person. Share your progress, laugh at your mistakes, and celebrate your wins together. Learning with friends can be incredibly motivating and enjoyable. Be creative, write short stories, journal in English, try to write song lyrics, or even record yourself talking about your day. Your brain isn't a machine that you can force-feed information. It's a complex, curious organ that thrives on engagement and positive experiences. When you make learning English enjoyable, you're not just making it easier. You're making it a sustainable, lifelong passion. You're creating an environment where your English tree doesn't just grow, it blossoms. So, there you have it, my friends, the 7 psychological keys to unlocking your true potential in English learning: belief, motivation, patience, mistakes, habits, confidence, and enjoyment. I truly believe that if you focus on these internal shifts, you will find your external progress accelerating in ways you never thought possible. Grammar and vocabulary are important, yes, but they are tools. These psychological factors are the hands that wield those tools effectively. Don't underestimate the power of your mind. Your mindset is your most potent weapon or your greatest obstacle in this journey. Choose to make it your greatest ally. I want to encourage all of you to pick just one of these keys today and actively work on it. Maybe you need to challenge a limiting belief. Maybe you need to reignite your motivation by reconnecting with your why. Maybe you need to set up one tiny new habit. Start small, but start now. Thank you so much for joining me on English Talking today. I hope this episode has given you some valuable insights and renewed inspiration for your English journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might benefit from hearing it. And as always, you can find me on YouTube at English Talking Today, where I share more tips, lessons, and motivation. Keep believing in yourselves, keep nurturing your motivation, stay patient, learn from your mistakes, build those powerful habits, grow your confidence, and most importantly, find the joy in every single step of your English learning adventure. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining. Bye for now.